Market was up today, and boy, did we need it. It was up 0.87% on the S&P. The Nasdaq was up above 1%. The Dow was up 0.67%. So it was green across the board for the big exchanges. The market overall is down 4% if you measure the high point of 2024 to where we're at now. The last 3 weeks, you've had down stock prices really leading up to the earnings season. I wanted to point out the earnings this week that are really going to move the market and the reasons for it. On Tuesday, Visa is going to report, and Visa is really a barometer on the economy since we use credit cards for just about everything. If Visa shows that their earnings are up, that they're doing more transactions, then people believe the economy is doing really well. So the stock market will rally if Visa announces positive earnings. On the flip side, if they announce negative earnings, we could see the market sell off on Tuesday. So I think Visa is the first company that could really throw off the rally we've started here on a Monday, and we'll see how they report. UPS is also going to announce on Tuesday, and I believe they also move the market. People shipping goods and companies shipping goods from place to place shows how active the economy is, how many goods are changing hands. And therefore, if UPS shows a positive earnings, it'll really cause a rally. On the flip side, if they show that, hey, there's fewer packages being shipped, it'll give investors a little bit of fear that, hey, the economy is not doing well. I better sell off. A big name is also going to report on Tuesday, and that's Tesla. There's a lot of bad news around Tesla, and the stock's down big over the last 15 months. But if they were to surprise and show better growth, better profitability, boy, investors would be so happy, especially Tesla investors, and it could really cause a rally. If Tesla announces negative earnings, that's what's expected. I don't know that it's going to move the market a whole lot. On Wednesday, Meta will be reporting earnings, and Meta is such a big company that they will influence the market. It's expected they're going to announce good earnings because they've had really good news for the past year. They've just been really doing well. Most recently, their AI business has really got a lot of good press. We'll see how they announce. If they surprised and showed that they maybe their business contracted, they weren't as profitable as expected, that could be big news that could take the market down. And because everybody's expecting Meta to do well. So we'll see how they announce. We'll see if they can keep the rally going for their stock. It's been performing really well. And I'll be looking to see what they have to say on Wednesday. Thermo Fisher also announces on Wednesday, and they have a lot of healthcare products. So I'm keeping an eye on this particular company because it could cause a rally in healthcare stocks. So I'm looking forward to this earnings release. I think healthcare has really been held back or hasn't kept up with the rest of the market. So I'm thinking that healthcare at some point is going to rally because historically it's been such a good sector. Thermo Fisher will be a big healthcare related stock that announces, probably one of the first big ones to announce early in the season of earnings. On Thursday, the most valuable company on the stock market, Microsoft, announces their earnings. And being the biggest, they're really going to influence the market. They've had a great couple of years, and now we'll see if they can keep it going. If they could show good growth, especially around their AI business, the stock should rally. And if they don't, if they have actually flat revenue or even declining revenue, boy, this stock will sell off, and it'll cause the market to sell off as well. So we'll see what Microsoft has to say. It'll really move the market if they're real positive or real negative. The Chipotle stock's been doing really well, and I'm keeping an eye on Chipotle because it tells you a lot about Main Street. If Chipotle is showing growth in its restaurant sales, it's showing that the consumer continues to buy, continues to go out and eat. So I'm going to be focused on Chipotle to see how their earnings go. If their earnings are good, that means that consumer related products are probably going to do well. If their earnings are bad, the flip side, I think the consumer is struggling, and that could be a sign that the economy is slowing down. Alphabet announces on Thursday, and Alphabet's one of the big market cap companies, almost $2 trillion in value. So if they have a good quarter, it's going to move the market. If they have a bad quarter, it's going to move the market. I think that Alphabet's really setting up to do well. I think their AI business, they had maybe about a year where it seemed like they did a lot of things wrong. But as of late, a lot of things are coming together for Alphabet. I'm optimistic that their earnings are going to be good. If they are, I think the stock will continue to rally. Recently, in the last month, the stock's really been doing well. And overall, it's been a good stock over the last couple of years. Intel announces on Thursday, and I'm really focused on Intel because the semiconductor sector has been really overpriced, in my opinion. Intel is a comeback story. We'll see if they're growing. We'll also see what their comments are on semiconductor growth, what semiconductor markets are doing, and it could really influence the rest of the semiconductors. I'll really study the Intel earnings to see how the semiconductor industry is doing and how the other semiconductor stocks will probably do through this earnings season. On Friday, the two big energy companies are going to announce. Exxon Mobil and Chevron will announce their earnings. It's expected they should be good because oil prices have been really high. But these companies will announce their forecast for the remainder of 2024, which will do a couple of things. First, how well will Exxon and Chevron do for the remainder of the year? Now, if they announce that they expect oil prices are really going to rise, that could actually have a negative effect on the economy, and that could actually cause a sell-off in a lot of the stocks that are related to how well the economy is. So it'll be really interesting to see what Exxon has to say and what Chevron have to say on Friday. On Friday, AbbVie, a big pharmaceutical company, will also announce, and I'm looking forward to their earnings because I think it's going to be a tell on how the healthcare industry is doing. If AbbVie announces they've really grown, it'll really cause a really nice rally with pharmaceutical companies. And I think there's a lot of pent up upside in this particular sector because it didn't do all that well in 2023 and it hasn't been doing all that well in 2024. But historically, this is a really good sector with a lot of great companies like AbbVie. So I'm looking forward to seeing what AbbVie has to say in their earnings. There's a lot of attention on earnings this week because this year has been quite interesting. We had the beginning of the year, the first 3 months, open up really good appreciation in stocks. For the last 3 weeks, though, we've had stocks go lower. So are they going to go higher or lower? Well, if these companies have negative earnings, you better believe we're going to keep going lower for a fourth consecutive week. On the flip side, good earnings reports can stop this bear market and lead stocks higher, maybe starting a really nice rally upward again. We'll see how things play out. I'll definitely be tuning in to these earnings reports. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video.